Hello viewers, this is Michael from Screw Reviews, bringing you a new podcast in my chapter called the Project Right Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to be too hard during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will retain to adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will retain to adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, I need you to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this and anything else out the way, let's get into the final episode of Gavan Affinity. So after Raging and Commander Karen convinced the Supreme Commander to reactivate the Gavan system, Raging and the other Gavins transformed and they basically fighting the villains who is a part of the Olive organization and whatnot. So basically, Raging was in the higher dimension where the Supreme Commander in the Gavan system is, and basically he got teleported back to Kunai's connection, aka dimension, aka Jirai's, aka Gavin's rise dimension and whatnot, where Death Gavin was waiting for him. So basically outside the mansion, while Kunai and Daichi were fighting, inside her little her mansion castle and whatnot. So anyway, basically with the Gavan system back on, the Gavins made quick work of their villains. So basically, Bushido Kato, and then Cards, so the fact that Cards got defeated by Bushido, like it got defeated by Jirai, and Kiki and Koto Sensei got defeated and got locked up and whatnot, but and locked up by Kiki and Koto. So anyway, so basically, it was just Tesla, who is Death Gavin, and basically Death Gavin said, "I'm beyond the higher, I'm behind, I'm behind the power of Zoloft and the higher dimension," and then he transformed to Death Gavin, and basically they started that little brief fight with each other. Then they hopped in both their ships, and basically the ships got damaged, and basically so basically the Cosmo Gavin got damaged by the Arc Gavin, and basically, and that's when, Raging ran his ship into the Arc Gavin, and basically boarded the Arc Gavin, and basically Raging started to fight Death Gavin and Tessia, and basically, and that's where Tessia uses negative emotion powers to take a have a flashback, take Raging to his flashback when he met Gato and whatnot. So basically it turns out that, Raging was just a little kid hanging out with some boys who were just a bunch of misfits and whatnot, and basically, and Gato caught up with them, and basically, cause Raging bit Gato, and basically, Gato was saying, "Why are you hanging out with those boys and whatnot?" And plus, you bit me and whatnot. And so basically, Raging saying, I had to win. I would do anything to win. And basically, and that day, that's when Gato became a mentor towards Raging that day and whatnot. And basically, then 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 we start to get some more flashbacks when Reagan became older, and basically part of the Galaxy Police, and basically we finally get to see the day that Gato was killed. Turns out that Death Gavin did kill. Death Gavin did kill. Gato, who is Reagan's mentor and whatnot, and basically this uses Gavatar. This uses Gavatar Micro to kill Gato. Before he did, so basically we got more and more of that day when Gato was hurt and whatnot, and basically Gato told him to go after that Gavan who go after the Gavan who did this, and basically he told his Mokia to look after Raging in case something bad happened to it, and basically that's when Tessera, who was now Death Gavin, showed up again and basically killed Gato, and basically after the flashback, once again they transform into the Gavin Force, and basically they're back on Gavin Gerard's Earth, and basically start to fight each other, and basically they took the fight inside the castle, and basically now that Dicey and Aggie figure out how Raging can do a dimensional jump without the ship, and basically now Raging can do a dimensional jump without the ship after studying Gerard's abilities to basically jump, go to different dimensions throughout the ship and whatnot. They figured it out, and basically they used the system to help Raging out to take down Death Gavin. So basically Raging did a dimensional jump to Kiki's Earth. Then she helped out a bit by attacking Death Gavin. Then that's when Death Gavin did open up a merc space, and basically and they got sucked into that merc space, and basically using the power of that merc space, tried to get a advantage over Raging, but Raging managed to do another G-jump, and basically to Vegeta's role, where Vegeta was raiding, where Gavin Vegeta was raiding, and basically he helped out doing some damage to Death Gavin and whatnot. And it turns out that Aggie made copies of herself for Kiki and Vegeta. So basically Aggie managed to make duplicate copies of herself, to see the progress and whatnot. So basically, after a few jumps after a few more dimensional jumps, they ended up back in their own universe, and basically seems like pretty much basically it seems like Tessia, aka Death Gavin, was running out of gas. Basically he was just exhausted, so basically he was kind of exhausted, but it seemed like he was exhausted, but he was not willing to give up, and basically he got, so Death Gavin got himself up, and basically like if you wanted to take me, you have to defeat me, and basically, and that's when that's when the Olive Boss, the great Merc Bean Olive tried to take control of Death Gavin, and basically with no other choice, so basically, basically channel all his rage into a, into positive emote energy and had no this but to strike down Death Gavin, and basically when he did that, then Death Gavin just disappeared into a dark cloud of smoke and whatnot. It's not confirmed that it's not confirmed. It's kind of confirmed that Wayne had no choice but to strike down Tetra, aka Death Gavin. But it seems like when he did strike down Death Gavin, he just disappeared into a cloud of smoke, and basically that was it. So anyway, after then we cut to the space station, to the galactic space station in raising Earth, or in raising in raising dimension, and basically we see Wasabi and Padawan talk about the information they got for Commissioner Harrow, who is part of the Olive group and whatnot. So basically, they requested to be a part of, Raisin's group and whatnot, and basically, Commander Carroll, who was a dude, you guys did good work and whatnot, and basically, it turns out that that Commissioner Warren, who is a traitor working for the Olive Group, disappeared into black smoke as well. It turns out that another commander, the commander with the blue with the red eyes, is also part of the Olive Group and whatnot. So basically, he's behind the disappearance of Commissioner Warren, and basically the Olive Group is still. The Olive Group is still out there, and so is Death Gavin. So basically, Raisin is is still obsessed of finding Death Gavin, and wants to find Death Gavin and bring him to justice for killing Gato and whatnot. So basically, he went off on his own, and basically the others found Raisin Gavin's trigger in space, and basically, where is Raisin? So basically, the episode, the final episode ends with Dicey's I know Raisin, he won't stop until he finds his criminal, and basically that's how the episode ended with the other Gavin. Basically wondering, sensing that something wrong, and basically something wrong, that Raisin is disappeared somewhere, and basically looking for Death Gavin, and basically this is how the final episode Gavin Affinity ended on this note. So anyway, oh God, it just feels like I feel like this season did end on a cliffhanger. So basically, I doubt it. I doubt it's Megahorn. It's going to keep us in, basically, I doubt it. Megahorn is going to have. I doubt it that Megahorn is going to address this cliffhanger and Megahorn in the Megahorn series. But we just have to wait and see. But honestly, if Megahorn is on a cliffhanger like Gavin Affinity, Tori needs to really think. Really needs to think how giving more episodes for their Project Red series and whatnot. So anyway, this episode left me kind of in a sad mood, but it is what it is. So anyway, what do you guys think about the final episode of Gavin Affinity? Good, bad, or just okay? Please let me know in the comments below. Anyway, start it off. Let's reviews. 1.